Hey, what's going on, everyone? Sly here with D. D, man. Driving today, enjoying the day, listening to a little KNBR, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Jeff Garcia on the line. To me, man, I'm telling you right now, I was pumped up for the simple fact that this guy has been blackballed for the past 2 years because of some comments that were taken out of context.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who don't know, during the NFC Championship week against the Rams, Jeff Garcia said something that people had a hissy fit over, like Stephen A. Smith, ESPN, local radio, pretty much with Mia Kimes, who pretty much said that Jimmy, he pretty much got an A on the project, not doing anything, which actually I agree with on that tape. However, Jeff Garcia, what did he say? He said, all he said was, oh, she's never played the game, whatever. And man, people were coming for this guy's head. They were just coming all over him, saying all this stuff, BS. And, people were just mad. And hearing 49ers content creators, I'll be honest with you, soy boys, just ripping him. I was like, dude, I got to start making YouTube videos. I got to stand up for what I believe in, because Jeff Garcia did nothing wrong. And I'll give it to SF Niners. He's someone that didn't have an opinion. He just said, hey, what do you guys think? Comments after comments. Dude, Jeff Garcia's a man. He said nothing wrong. It's baloney. And I loved listening to Jeff Garcia on radio. I love listening to him on NBC Bay Area. Remember, after the games, he would be there. Man, he lost his job and stuff, and it was baloney. But what do you think about this whole situation? Jeff Garcia, hopefully finally back on radio, because he's a great guy. Him, Brian Baldinger, these guys have great information about football, and it's good to see him back, man.
It's good to see him back, just because, especially like with Niner legends, it's always good to see them like talking about the team, because you get to see their insight and like their knowledge, like when they used to play the game and how they kind of relate to it. But yeah, great to see him back. As far as like just going back to like what you said, like as far as like the media, and it's not even just like Mila Kimes, it's like a majority, it's probably like 80% of the people who like are on like radio hosts, they never played the game in their lives. And so for them, they act like, like the Stephen A, for example, the Nick Wright, those guys never play like wear cleats in their lives. So they act like they can say some certain things. And that's why you see now a lot of like NFL players having their own like words now. Michael Parsons, you see like Jeff Garcia on the radio, you see more and more players coming out and speaking out because they actually know what they're talking about. And what Jeff Garcia was basically saying was just like, well, this girl's never played the games. And I actually didn't mind Jimmy G. I liked him better than Trey Lance. I know you weren't really a fan of his, but basically all Jeff Garcia was saying that there's certain quarterbacks and certain players that were Jimmy G was doing like what he needed to do. Now, was he going to be the guy to help us win that Super Bowl? No, but he was going to be the guy to help us at least get close to it, And like we said all season long last year, like, man, our defense and pretty much the players after catch that they got to pretty much carry us, or Christian McCaffrey, because we're not going to win with Jimmy G throwing it 30 times a game, Like, that's just not like realistic. But he was basically just saying that, oh, like this girl doesn't really know what she's talking about because she doesn't know.
And it wasn't even sexist.
Bad.
It wasn't even about being sexist. Yeah. If he would have said that about Stephen A. Smith, no one would have had a problem.
Yeah.
But just because, she's a lady, people were like, oh my gosh, he's a sexist. He's a bigot. It was baloney, man. And that pissed me off. I was like, dude, he doesn't even mean it like this. But everything you say, these people, they get all wild and stuff. And most people are like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? I loved how the 49er fans were like, dude, this is bullshit. You're canceling Jeff Garcia for saying something. It's not even sexist. I think he's like 3 girls too, by the way.
Yeah.
So it was nothing even bad, malicious, but everyone was just going after him. And then like, he not even, I don't know, like, where's he on NBC Bay Area? And he's gone. I'm like, dude, that's baloney. And I know that, when he's he goes to Niner games, I see on his Instagram, but he's not there by the team. Like, the team doesn't get him sweets. He's there with the fans because he's not in good graces with the Yorks, who, I'm sorry, man, the Yorks have some shady stuff going. They're always being sued and everything. So it's like, dude, come on, really? So hopefully hearing him on KNBR that this thing finally breaks and he's finally able to go and gives his insight. Because I love it when these former Niners are on these shows. I love it when Joe Montana, I love listening to him. Steve Young, I always listen to Ronnie Lott, Brent Jones. It's great information. And it was awesome when I used to always hear Jeff Garcia on, just from Gilroy. It's kind of cool because, we're always in Gilroy. And then we're like, dude, he's like a local boy, So, I mean, hopefully he's able to come back and be on radio, because it was absolutely baloney. Something that I was just so shocked how so many of the big time content creators were just ripping him. How could Jeff Garcia say that? He is such an evil man. I was like, what the heck? Is this how soft society
I
is?
mean, that's how soft they are. Kind of what, going back what he said about Brock Purdy, it was actually pretty cool because he was actually saying that, man, I would take the criticism. I'm glad that they're calling him a game manager, because with game managers, like, that means like you're making the least amount of mistakes, like getting your players in their position. And then he was talking good about all the Niners players, like how like the Debo Samuels, the Kittles, even like Jennings, after they make the catch, they have those breakaway yards. And so he was talking good about that, how Brock Purdy, and you see that with all the quarterbacks that we had, Brock Purdy's only the one that gets everyone to their spots. He throws the ball early. He had a difficult game against the Ravens, but I really believe that that's only going to make him better, because let's remember, this is his first year having a full season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think a lot of people forget that this guy started like the last couple games of last year. And so this was really like his first year playing a full season.
Mm-hmm.
And so for him, I think like he's actually played like really good for his first season and broke the record, man. And so he was also talking about, with Brock Purdy, it reminds him of like an old school type of quarterback, because he doesn't lose his composure. He just thinks about the next play. And you saw like in like previous quarterbacks that we had, like every time they made a mistake, there was like when Jimmy G would throw a pick, he would just be like, oh damn, someone please win me the game.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy's like, nah, man. He saw like in even like the Ravens game, how many picks did he throw? And he still was like throwing the ball.
He wasn't afraid.
He wasn't afraid. He still was like, we still got to score. We still win this game. And so that's what I love about Brock Purdy, is that he just has that winning mentality. And at the end of the day, he doesn't care about the media. He doesn't care what players say bad about him. He's just focused on the 49ers and focused on us winning. And so that's what I love. And it was cool seeing Jeff Garcia talk about that, just like how his poise was, playmaking, how he doesn't really force the ball too much. And when he was saying that, what came to my mind was because with like fantasy football, I had CeeDee Lamb, and what reminded me was Dak Prescott, man, when he forced the ball on that first pick of the drive. You don't really see Brock Purdy doing that, man, like trying to like force the ball when he's getting pressured. Besides like really and just sitting there in the pocket and just waiting forever, Brock Purdy says hike and he's letting the ball out like right away, quick. And if he needs to scramble out, he'll make a play scrambling out. And that's really like, it's rare. There's only like been like 2 other quarterbacks this season who's done that. And so for him, he's been playing like amazing. And it's cool seeing Jeff Garcia like highlight that.
And I really like what he talked about. He talked about the seasons from 2020 to 2012. He's like, yeah, I put up some big ass numbers, but no one talks about me because we lost. And he talked about, he was criticized. He said, I deserve to be criticized because we lost, even though I'll take a step back, because between those years when our offense was on fire, they were like amazing offenses, but the defenses just got torched, man. Our defenses were so bad those years. It wasn't even funny. I think 2022 is when we kind of started getting it together, but our defenses were so bad. And Jeff Garcia, he never gets that respect because, we never really went far, because sometimes you just can't do it when you have such a crappy ass defense. And I remember those days with Jeff Ulbrich, Derek Smith, Mike Rumpf. Even though I liked him, Plummer, poor guy, would always get toasted. Yeah. Rumpf was horrible, though. I mean, the whole defense, there was no playmakers. Our best guy, I think, those years was like Julian Peterson, who was a really good player, but nothing like elite. Yeah. So, I mean, Jeff Garcia kind of got the raw stick, but he even said it, man. At the end of the day, you got to win. If you don't win, you're not going to be remembered. He's like, I'm probably not going to be remembered like, obviously, like the guys like Joe Montana, Steve Young, because those guys, what they have? They had the ring. So hopefully Brock Purdy, it's great that he's putting up these numbers, but that's what we want, baby. At the end of the day, that's what we want. And he was complimenting Brock Purdy a lot. And so, I mean, he's a cool guy, and I love listening to what he has to say, because every time you listen, I think you get smarter.
Yeah, and he really has a knowledge for the game. And so with them, he's been in the league for a while. He's been in with the whole West Coast offense. We've been with the Niners, and then when he had to implement that with the Eagles and then the Browns. And so he's been in the league for a while, and so he knows what he's talking about as a quarterback. That's why when he was saying that, I thought it was like stupid that he got the backlash for that. But yeah, this guy has actually played football, and so this isn't like an analyst or like
talking heads.
Yeah, talking heads, just like saying like, oh, like giving their analysts like professional analytics when they never gonna play the game and stuff on the field. Like, this is a guy who's actually like led a team deep in the playoffs and actually knows what it takes to get far in the playoffs and win. And so for him to talk about it, it was just like, man, he's not even like that's just how it is. They want to spin the narrative. You've seen it with us, especially the Niners. Like they'll spin the narrative to like where they'll say bad stuff about our quarterback, our team, past players, and it's just because they have a certain agenda they needed to get to, and so if it doesn't fit in the line of what they need to say, they're always just gonna like bash. But it's cool that he's back and that he was talking good about Purdy, seeing like what he liked, and that's what we need, man. We need all the positive vibes because coming into the playoffs, it's go time, man.
Oh yeah, we're definitely go time. 2 weeks away, and I'm pumped up, man. I can't wait, man, for playoffs. I'll be there. Even though we don't play the first week, I'll watch every game. And, Brock Purdy, he's going to come out, and I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. The Nick Wrights of the world, all those guys are hating. I think this is the time, man. And I believe in Purdy, and I can't wait, man. But yeah, so we got, man. Let us know what you think about this whole situation. Jeff Garcia back on radio. The Undertaker's back, baby. Let us know. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to you next time. Peace.